Hi, my name is Ushka. I go by she and her pronouns. I'm a DJ and an activist, and I live in Brooklyn, New York. I started DJing and making music in my early 20s. The reason I got interested in DJing in particular is because oftentimes I would go to club spaces and it was always cis men in charge of the music, in charge of the venue. I just didn't think that it needed to be that way, and I really thought that there was an opportunity for more femmes, queer folks, and women to really also be curating the spaces and being behind the scenes. I am from an island in South Asia called Sri Lanka. I grew up between Sri Lanka, Thailand, and the UK. I've always been a migrant. I've always lived outside of my home country and been kind of a third culture kid, someone who absorbed a lot of different musical influences because I lived in a lot of places. I feel able to be my best self when I'm also with people from all parts of the world. And that's such a key part of the kind of complexity of genres that I'm interested in, and is very much, obvious in the way in which I blend different kinds of music as a DJ. I draw my inspiration from people and from immigrant communities. Beyond being a DJ, I'm also an immigrant rights organizer and climate justice activist. And a lot of what drew me to music was also a desire to just really demonstrate the beauty of all sorts of immigrant communities, but in a different way. When I DJ and when I get lost in music, or when I'm able to create these spaces that are really rooted in love, and when I transition from genre to genre, I'm actually telling a story about how actually we all belong here. Whether you're queer, whether you're brown or black or whatever, that we actually have a space here and we're creating these spaces together. In my sets, people don't know what I'm gonna play next. We could be in South Asia and then we're in Latin America and then we're in Africa and then we're in Baltimore, and I like to do that. I like to keep people on their toes. And also I really like being able to have people see themselves, particularly in a country rooted in white supremacy. For Black and brown people, they often can't see themselves. And so when there's a DJ set where a Latino immigrant or a South Asian immigrant hears something that they only know from their childhood or were embarrassed by because their parents played it, and then they hear it at a major club that a DJ is playing and mixing into a popular genre, it does evoke something different. And I think that in some small way, I really try in my sets to really show the beauty of all of our immigrant communities. It really started with me just watching male friends of mine DJ, and standing behind DJ booths and watching friends spin vinyl. And so I was never just a spectator or someone who was dancing. I always was really interested in the process. And so then I had friends of mine who basically taught me, or I would basically befriend the people who I thought were really good DJs and eventually learn from them. Femmes and gender nonconforming folks and trans folks are not taken seriously. And I think that's the biggest challenge, is that either we're tokenized or we're not taken seriously. There needs to be room for some of us to not know things. I don't think I'm the best producer. I feel I'm still learning. But I feel there's a lot of oh, you don't know how to do this. And it's this constant competition. And, I'm about sharing skills. I'm about there is enough for all of us. We all want to be DJs. There's a room for all of us. We all want to be producers. Go forth. Folks shouldn't be afraid to pursue what they want to pursue. There's enough of the pie for all of us, and we should all be supporting each other.